Hello CraftDee family, and welcome to another tutorial by She's So Crafty. For today's DIY projects, we will be creating some really easy Christmas and holiday home decor DIYs made with supplies purchased from the Dollar Tree. Now these projects are really fun and they can be made into gifts as well. Now as always, all of the projects I create have a complete supply list in the description box so you can easily use it for reference as you gather up your supplies. Now before we start, I have to say hey to all of my subscribers, and if you're a new visitor to my channel today, I hope you consider subscribing as well and stick around to enjoy these crafts and the different ways that I'll show you how to style these in your space. So now let's just jump right into the projects. Now this project is a wood holiday tree. Now I'm going to be using one of these wood swirl trees from the Dollar Tree. Now the first thing I'm going to do is take my tree and I'm going to decide on my finish. Now you can certainly stain this, but I did notice there is glue in the seams of this and the stain won't penetrate the glue, but you could try antique wax if you wanted a wood finish. You could also use some chalk paint, but what I decided to go with is this gold. So I think gold screams a Christmas glam to me, so I'm going to paint my tree gold. Now I'm going to hand paint this with this acrylic gold paint. You can certainly spray paint if you like, but I love working with this acrylic gold paint. I think it gives a great coverage. Now here's one of the sides of the tree. I'm loving how it looks, so I'm going to continue to paint the entire tree. And here is what it looks like when it is all dry. Now to go with my tree, I wanted to light it, but I didn't want to put string lights on it. So I grabbed 4 tea lights, and I'm also going to paint those in that gold finish as well. Now string lights on this tree would really take away from the beautiful swirl design. So I thought that lighting it up from the bottom would give it a very unique look. So I'm just going to paint these tea lights to match my tree. Now to go under my tree, I wanted some gifts, so what I'm going to do is make some gifts out of these blocks. And I have some alphabet blocks and also some tumbling tower blocks that I got from the Dollar Tree. And what I'm going to do is double stack 3 blocks to make a double stacked gift box. And I'm just going to be using some hot glue to join these together. Since this is a small project, you don't need to use wood glue, but you can if you like. You're just going to glue together 3 blocks together. And then you're going to glue a second set of 3 blocks and then stack those on top of each other and then glue those together. Now you do want to make sure they're evenly placed on top of each other, and this is what one of the gift boxes will look like. Now we're just going to repeat this until we have 2 of the double stacks, and then I'm going to make one with 4 blocks here for a different size, and then I'm going to have my alphabet blocks too. Now I wanted to paint the gift boxes in traditional Christmas colors, so I'm going to use some green, red, and white. And I'm going to start with painting those square boxes first. So I'm going to paint one entirely in this beautiful green color. And then the second one I'm going to paint in this bright cardinal red. And then the smaller one I'm going to paint in white. And I'm also going to paint the alphabet blocks in white as well. Now with the alphabet blocks, I wanted to give them a candy stripe look, so I'm going to take a small tipped paintbrush and I'm just going to paint some stripes on it with red, and I want them to look like a candy cane design. Now I'm going to do this in red stripes on one block and green stripes on the second block. And here are my 2 blocks all striped up. Now for my solid blocks, I wanted to give them a ribbon on them to match my tree. So I had some of this gold ribbon on hand. Now the Dollar Tree does have gold ribbon. I picked this up from Dollar General clearance last year, but I'm going to cut this ribbon into a thin strip, probably about 1/8 of an inch. And I'm just going to wrap it around and hot glue it in place. Now once you get that initial wrap around, you're just going to cross right over it and put another piece on to form a cross. And you want to do this for all 3 of your solid blocks. So now you have all your gifts, you have your beautiful golden tree and your candles, and now you could set it all up. And here is what the final setup looks like, and I just love how this turned out. Now, I think that this gold color was absolutely perfect for this tree, and it makes it look so glamorous. Now, I did add some traditional colors for the gifts, and I tied in the colors with a bit of gold ribbon. Now, I did not decide to add any lights, garland, or bulbs to my tree since it took away from that beautiful squirrel design, but please feel free to decorate and embellish this tree however you like. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments below. Now, this project is a set of frosted holiday lighted jars. Now, here's my inspiration photo for this project today. Now, I love this lighted mason jar design from Kirkland's, and I knew I could recreate it for a lot less. So I did think the Noel letters on here were very hard to see on their jars, so I'll be using solid letters to help my design stand out. So I headed to the Dollar Tree and I grabbed some supplies to make my vision come to life. Now, I'm going to be needing 3 small mason jars from the Dollar Tree, some poster letters from the Dollar Tree, some Epsom salt from the Dollar Tree, and some Assorted Greenery and twine. So what we're going to do is grab our mason jars, and we first want to remove all of the lids from the jars and make sure your jars are clean. Then go ahead and grab your poster letters, and since I have 3 jars, I wanted to spell out joy on my jars. So I'm removing the J-O-Y, and then I'm going to place them in the bottom center of each one of my jars. Now, the J on my jar just looked like it wasn't complete, so I took a little comma from the poster letters, and I'm going to add that to the bottom of my J, and it just gives it that little curve that it was missing. And there you go, it looks complete now. So now what we're going to do is we are going to grab some Mod Podge, and you can get this from the Dollar Tree in smaller containers as well. And what we're going to do is we are going to start dabbing that Mod Podge on the jar all the way around the letter. Now you want to put a very generous coat of this Mod Podge on a jar. Now we're going to apply it in sections. And once you have a really good section, grab that Epsom salt, and you just want to sprinkle it on top of that thick layer of Mod Podge so it adheres to the Mod Podge, and just pat it in. And then we're going to apply another section of that Mod Podge to the jar and add more Epsom salt, and we want to do this all the way around our jars. Now here is one of the jars all covered in that Epsom salt and Mod Podge, and now you just want to do this for the O and the Y jars as well. And now here are all 3 of my jars all covered, and what you want to do is just kind of tap them on the table, shake off any excess Epsom salt, and let them completely dry. Now here are my jars all nice and dry and ready to go. Now, to avoid any shedding of any Epsom salt on your jar, you want to go in with another coat of Mod Podge. Now I'm just taking a really fluffy paintbrush, and I'm just gonna just tap that Mod Podge all over the jars, including on top of the poster letter, just making sure that everything is nice and sealed in. Now you want to complete this all the way around the jars and for the 2 other jars. And here they are, just let them sit to completely dry. And here are my jars, they're nice and dry now, so now we can embellish them. So I'm going to grab all of my greenery and also my jute twine, and I'm just going to go ahead and start removing some of my greenery and preparing it to add it to my jars. But the first thing I'm going to do is take this jute twine, and I want to wrap the top of each one of my jars with the jute twine. Now I just wrapped it around a couple times and hot glued it into place. And then with the greenery, I have some sprigs of pine here, I have sprigs of cedar, and I have some little berry bundles that I had in my scrap bin. So I'm just going to group them together, a piece of each of them, just stacking them on top of each other. And once they look good, I'm going to go ahead and hot glue each one of them into place. Now I did fold down the top of that garland sprig because it was a little long. You want to fold it down really tight. So once everything is hot glued into place on that one, repeat it 2 more times so we have a total of 3 for all of our jars. Now I did want to have an accent on the top of my greenery bundle, so I'm taking some of this gingham buffalo check ribbon and I'm making 3 little bows out of it, and then I'm going to attach one of those bows to each one of my little berry bundles. Just add some hot glue right on top and place that right in the center. Then once all 3 are done, we can start adding them to the jars. Now I did notice that my bundle was kind of thick in the back when I folded it over, so I am going to cut that excess off so it would lay a little flatter against my jar. You can use a combination of scissors and wire clippers to do this. And then you're going to place it on the top of the jar on the jute twine wrapping. You want to place it to the side of the letter, just making sure you're not blocking that letter. Just hold it in place until that hot glue adheres, and this is what one of the jars will look like. Now you just repeat this for the remainder of your jars, and here they are. Now all you have to do is add a beautiful tea light to them to light them up. And oh my goodness, you guys, look at these. They turned out so amazing. Now I really love the option of using solid letters instead of just an outline like the Kirkland's jars, since it gives it a nice bold look. And you can add more jars to spell out any word that you like too. Let me know what you think of this project in the comments below. Now this project is a decorative trimmed holiday planter box. Now we're going to need 1 square gift box from the Dollar Tree in any print, and we're going to need a few tumbling tower blocks from the Dollar Tree. So I'm going to grab my mat and my ruler and my blocks. Now I'm just going to go ahead and grab 6 blocks out, and I'm going to kind of form this into a rectangular square shape as shown here. Now once we get our shape, we can go ahead and start gluing it together. Now I'm using my Surebonder wood stick hot glue, but you could use wood glue or regular glue for this project. This won't be structural, so you just want to use a glue that would hold them together. So I'm just going to add a dab of hot glue onto each piece, making sure you use that ruler for the most even edge. I can't express how important it is to use the ruler in the projects. It makes a world of difference. So now when that's made, you want to make 4 of those 6 block sets as shown here. So now we're going to take the box, remove that lid, and we want to adhere one of these block squares to the side of your box. Just add some of that hot glue along the back side of the square, and you want to center it on the side. Now this just provides a little accent to the side of the box, giving it a little bit more character. Now you just want to repeat this for all 4 sides. Now once that's done, I'm going to take it out and give it one nice coat of this Zinsser 123 primer. Now here's the box all nice and primed, and now I want to go in with a final coat, and I want to use chalk paint for this. Now you can use spray paint, but I chose to use chalk paint because it's a little thicker and it'll get into all those grooves and creases of the blocks and make it look like one solid piece. So you want to complete the entire outside, and then when that's done, you want to go in about 1.5 inches on the top edge of the inside of the box too. No need to paint the entire box because we will be putting a plant inside. So here's our box all nice and dry, and so now we are ready to decorate. Now I have this big bag of greenery. I actually picked this up from the thrift store, and I guess the person who had it must have been a crafter because all of the pieces in here had these little silver picks on the end as if they were making arrangements. So you can use some floral foam, and I'm just using some extra styrofoam I had from packaging left over. I'm repurposing that, and I have a bundle of those red berries from the Dollar Tree. So here are those pieces with those little picks on them. So I'm going to start by adding some of the pine pieces, and I'm just going to add 1 into each corner, and then I'm taking these frosted cedar leaves and I'm going to add those as well. Now the Dollar Tree does have a beautiful assortment of holiday greenery as well, so you can mix and blend how many pieces and how many styles that you like, and I just like blending them all together to make it nice and full. Now once the greenery is done, in the center I am placing some holly leaves just to fill out that center part. Now that the greenery is done, we're going to add our berries. So I'm taking that Dollar Tree berry bundle, I'm cutting those berries off, and what I want to do is I just want to stick those into the bundle, giving it a little accent. And you can see as soon as you add that pop of red, it looks so beautiful. I just love how these colors blend together. They look so amazing. Now this little bundle here looks so amazing for the holidays, but I wanted to add another accent. I wanted to add some of this gingham buffalo check style ribbon just to tie around it. Now this is definitely optional, but I just wanted to tie it into the other projects. It just looks so wonderful on holiday projects. I love how this looks. So I'm just going to tie it around the center and trim it off. And then there you go. You have a ribbon accent on your container, and now you can place it on display. And check it out, you guys. How gorgeous is this holiday arrangement? Now, I'm such a fan of these holiday colors, but you can certainly mix and blend it to your liking. And I do think the blend of the greens, the snowy sprigs, and the berries looks so great. And I love this block accent just to give it a little bit more character. Now you can style this for year-round use as well, so I hope you give this project a try. Now this project is a lighted candle stand set. We're going to need 2 glass candle holders from the Dollar Tree and 2 of these votive candle holders from the Dollar Tree. So what I'm going to do is first take my candle holders, you want to remove all the tags, and then I'm going to take them out and give them 2 coats of this Satin Bright White spray paint by Krylon. Now once those are nice and dry, here they are, and then we're going to take our votive candle holders. Now I'm going to remove the tags from the bottom of those, and I'm going to adhere them. Now if you want a permanent adhesion, use E6000. For this project I am going to be using hot glue, since I probably will be repurposing this in another project, but this will hold for the time being. So I'm just going to hot glue one of the candle stands at the bottom of each one of those votive holders. So I'm going to take some garland picks that I had on hand, and also some loose bunches of berries that I had in my scrap bin. I'm going to take one of those garland ties, and I want to wrap the edges around each other to form a very large wreath. And then I'm going to remove the berries from those berry stems that I had. I'm going to add them around the wreath just as an accent, spacing them about 1 inch to 1.5 inches apart all the way around the wreath. Now you can add any kind of accent that you like to your wreaths. Now to give it a little bit more character, I decided to take my white acrylic paint, and I'm just going to dry brush on some of this white acrylic paint to give it a snowy effect. And you want to do this for both of your wreaths. And here are both of the wreaths completely dry with that snowy effect. So now that those are dry, we're going to take some more of that buffalo check gingham style ribbon, and I am going to tie a bow right below that candle holder portion into right underneath, making sure that the tails go all the way down to the bottom. Now you want to repeat this for both of your candle holders. And then what you can do is you're going to take your wreath and you can actually put it around the bottom. Now the wreath is large enough where you can sit it around the bottom of your candle holder as an accent here, and I think this is adorable. Or also you could take your wreath and it'll fit snugly around the top of the candle holder as well, so it's almost like you get 2 looks in one. And there you have it. How simple was that? Now you can add a reel or a candle battery to these, and they will look so beautiful on display. Now there's so many ways you can choose to display and style these, and they will look great in the holiday arrangement that I made earlier. And then of course you can place the wreath around the top edge too to change up the look. So easy. Now I absolutely love being able to create DIYs that are easy and with so many uses, and I hope that you guys have fun with these projects. Now as always, I love them all, but let me know in the comments which one was your favorite today. Listen, if you love DIYs on a budget, please give this video a thumbs up and share this video with your friends. Make sure that you're following She's So CraftDee on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Pinterest for the latest news, sneak peeks, and giveaways. If you like videos like these and you don't want to miss the next one, make sure you're subscribed by clicking that subscribe button below, or just click on my She's So Crafty logo on your screen and make sure you hit that bell to be notified when the next DIY goes live. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next time.